And I want to give you a little bit of an illustration of what this looks like. You know, biblical counselors talk a lot about biblical principles for the way that we should be living. And certain things you'll find in the Bible, like we've just been talking about, the very first 10% should go towards God. That's you give your first and your best in terms of the tithe. And then the next thing that biblical counselors will say is they'll say, look, the Bible teaches that you should live on less than you make. You should live below your means so that you've got some extra left over, not only for generosity, but also for savings. And if you get really good at your savings, well, then over time, your money is not just there for future purchases, but in time, your money starts working for you. It starts making money, and that positions you for further generosity that you can be a part of in your future. And then the Bible teaches once those things are taken care of, you can spend on yourself what you want, guilt-free. And here's the deal. If you think of it in three different categories, you've got your give category, and you've got your save category, and then you've got your spend category. Now, I know this is overly simplistic for a number of people and the complexity of where they go, but just roll with me as a simple model for us to take a look at right now. Now, financial counselors who are Christians will oftentimes say a simple way to just get started is what's called the 10-10-80 plan. So the first thing that you do is you give 10% to honor God with the tithe. The second thing that you do is you save 10%. You pay yourself next. And then the last thing that does is that leaves 80% to spend on whatever you want. What does that look like in real life? Well, let's just say that you're a kid who's got your very first job and you've mowed your very first lawn, and that lawn is $10. You get paid $10 for mowing that lawn. You get 10 crisp George Washington $1 bills from mowing the lawn. So the question you ask is, if you have $10, how much do you give? Okay, that was not the challenge question, guys. Let's roll this morning. Help me out here. You got $10. You're giving 10%. How much do you give? $1. Okay, this is the challenge level question, okay? Which dollar do you give? The first one. All right, you do that. So you give the first one to God. The second one you pay yourself, and you just start saving that money. And then you've got $8 left to be able to spend on whatever you want to. You can get that half-price shake at Sonic. You can get on eBay and order that Pokemon game that you always wanted. Whatever it is, you got your $8, and you can put that in the spending category because you've earned it. You can spend it guilt-free. Now, let's say you're a teenager, you're banking along a little bit better, and you got a better job, like making $7.65 an hour now, and over the course of a week, you can make like $100 in a week. So now you've got 10 Hamilton $10 bills. What do you do with or how much of this do you give in the first category? How much? 10. And then which one do you give? The first one, you put it there, and then you've got another 10 that you say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and pay myself. I got college education that's coming up for me. I should be doing some good savings there. And then you've got another $80 that you can spend on whatever you want to. You can go to the movie and get the large popcorn if you want. You can save up your money and buy a longboard. Whatever you want to do with that money, boom, that money is there for the spend category. So now you're trucking along in life. And things are getting, a little bit more complicated as things happen. Let's just say you didn't come from a family like my family. You came from a family that had spend first and give at the end. And you've got some confused priorities that are going on there in your life. What if you're in that category and you start raking in the big bucks? Like now you got the Benjamins coming your way, right? So you got 10 $100 bills that you made this week because you're an average Nebraskan that makes just a little bit less than $54,000 a year if it's $1,000 a week. And you say, I got this money now. Well, if you've got this money and spend is in your first category, you go, hey, I got $1,000. There's a sale on some cool shoes I'd really like. I'm going to get me a couple pairs of those. And you say, I'm going to go there, and boom, I spend $80. Or $100, and you go, oh, and there's a concert that's happening. Rush is coming to Kansas City. I gotta go to that concert. And so you pack up your friends and you go to your favorite band. And man, you're down there in Kansas City. You spend a little on the tickets, a little on gas, a little bit on fun and food and so forth. And pretty soon, there's $100 that's gone, but that's fine because you still got $800 left. And then you realize, oh yeah, there's a couple of bills that have to be paid. I've got some debt that needs to be retired. Oops, I had a little bit of an accident. I got to have a car repair that's paid. And you get to the end of the week and you realize, ooh, I'm down to my last 100. And I've got to buy some food to put on the table. And I got to fill up my tank of gas. And I still haven't done any savings or any giving. What do I do with the last 100? When you find yourself in that position, what most people do is they say, well, I gotta eat and I gotta tank up the car with gas. I'll wedge a little bit out the side to the give category, maybe something into the save category, but most everything winds up in that spend category. And you're in a place where you've become helpless because of your own consumer whims. That's why it's so important to be keeping everything in the right order, where spend is at the end and give is at the beginning. If somebody was doing this whole deal right in and of themselves, what they would have done is they would have said, I got 10 $100 bills, so how much do you put in the give category? $100. And which one goes there? The first one. And then the next one, you got $100 in the save category and $800 that you can spend, and you can put it towards debt retirement or your consumer needs or whatever goes on, but you make all of your consumer decisions out of this pile of money rather than making it out of the whole pile of money, and you adjust your lifestyle downward so that you live on less than you make. Is that clear? Is that like so simple it's painfully clear? I hope so. I hope so. That was the idea of being able to do that, because I want it to be really clear for you.